Now, good morning, everyone. Now, our next topic now is insertion sort. For example, we have an array of 12, 11, 3, 5, 6. This is an array. What we did in bubble sort was we compared these two guys and swap, isn't it? So when we swap, it becomes 11, 12, 3, 5, 6. Then we'll compare 12 again, isn't it? Then it becomes what? 11, 3, 12, 5, 6. Then we'll compare 12 and 5 again, right? It becomes 11, 3, 5, 12, 6. Then we'll compare 12 and 6, isn't it? Then it becomes what? 11, 3, 5, 6, 12. Then we use a while loop to start again. That was what we did in bubble sort, isn't it?
Yeah.
But in insertion sort, we don't do that. We do it completely different. Here, we insert the element in its position. We insert the element in what? In its position. So how is it done? Very simple. Let me do it for you now. Insertion sort. So the first thing I said, you start with the next element and not the first element, right? What is the next element? Array 0, index 1, isn't it? So index 1. So let me make this value 13 and not 3. Now, then that will be what? Array 1, isn't it? Then I compare array 1 with what? With the previous element, right? So I will check if it is less than array 0. Is array 1 less than array 0? Yes. Are you all following me? Is this? Since it is, then I will now save that array 0. That means array 0 is not in its position. Is that understood? Then I will save it to a temporary variable. So that means temp will be equal to what? 11. Is that understood? Which is array 0. So after saving to a temporary position, then I rewrite the array. Is that understood? Then it's written as what? 11. No, sorry, not 11. That should be what? That should be 12, 12, 13, 5, 6. When I say write the array, it means that the value you compared it with, save it to that position. Is that understood? Good. So the next thing after this is what? We are done with that loop. No, there's no other element to compare it with, right? Then I now put this temporary value in that first position. Then it now becomes what? 11, 12, 13, 5, 6. Then we are done with that loop. Then we start again and start with what? Array what? Array 2. Because we started with array 1. Can you remember? Now we're starting with what? Array 2. Then we compare array 2 with what? With array 1. If you compare array 2 with array 1, is it less than or greater than? So that means it is in position, right? Are you all following me? So that means array 2 is not less than array 1. It is in its position, then nothing is done. Are you all following me? Nothing is done. They will now compare what? So then I compare array 2 with what? With array 0. Is that understood? So if you compare array 2 with array 0, is it still less than or greater than? It's still greater than, right? So that means nothing is done. Is that understood? That is the end of that loop. Then you start with the next loop. What is it? The next, what array do you take now? Array 3. Are you all following me? So you take the next element, which is now array 3. Then what do you compare it with? Array 2. Is it less than array 2?
Yes.
Yes. If it is less than array 2, what do? You now save that value into the what? The temporary variable, which is now 5. Is that understood? So then you now rewrite the array. Are you all following this step? So you write the array as what? 11, 12, 13, 13, 6. So you copy the value you compare it with to that position. Is that understood? Good. Then you now start to compare temporary 5, not array 3 again, right? Because the value of array 3 has what? Has changed. Is that understood? Then you now compare temp. If temp is less than what? Array 1. Because we have compared with array 2, right? Now we are comparing with what? Array 1. Is this understood? So if you compare 5 with array, this is 3, 2, 1. If you compare it to array 1, is it less than? Yes, it is less than. That is, 5 is less than what? 12. Since it is less than 12, you just rewrite the array. Don't change the value in the temporary value. Just what? Rewrite the array. So that becomes what? 11, 11, 12, 12, 13, 6. The next thing is now to what? To compare what? Temp with what? Array 0. Is temp less than array 0, everyone? Yes. So what do? Then I write the array as what? 11, 11, 12, 13, 6. Is there anything to compare with again? No. Then I put my temp value to that position. It becomes what? 5, 11, 12, 13, 6. And that is all. Do you guys understand the flow? It's like we are shifting them, right? We removed one. We are not comparing with others. Then we are shifting them until we can find the position of the one we removed. Is that understood? Good. So let's now go to the next one. What is now the next one? Array 4. We compare with what? Array 3. When you compare 4 with 3, is it less? Yes. Is that understood? Yes. Since it is less, then you now save that value into what? Into the variable temporary. Is that understood? Good. After saving it, what do we do now? We now rewrite the array. Can you see the step? We write the array as what? 5, 11, 12, 13, 13. Understood? They will now compare that same value with what? With array 2. Is it less than array 2? If it is less, what do? We rewrite the array. Is that understood? We write the array as what? 5, 11, 12, 12, 13. Is this understood? Now, we compare what? Temp with what? Array 1. Is it less than array 1? Is it? Yes. Then what do? We write the array as what? 5, 11, 11, 12, 13. Isn't it? After comparing again, then what do we do again? We compare temp with what? Array 0. Is it less than array 0? No. Since it's not less than, then we put it in that value of the previous one, which is now what? Array 1. We put temp there. And that value is now what? 5, 6, 11, 12, 13. So we are at the end of the loop. Do you know? So that is all. Is the array sorted after this? So this is the insertion sort. We are inserting it to its position. We took it out, compare it with every other values and put it in its position.